Hi students, well today's lesson you're actually going to do the other part of assessment unit 6. It's assessment task 14 on page 393. These are some written questions that you need to answer. There's 9 of them. Now I've opened it up at the sector site. This is obviously our cover page, and as you know, this is the textbook here that we are using. Now, you're very welcome to open this up and go to Unit 6. I'm just going to do a find, and it will find quite a few, but just keep going and I'll show you which page you want to go to. Okay, so it's from here, which is page 148. So this talks about scanning an image, and just like I explained to you before, if you want to print these images later on for production, you need to have it as high as you can. Obviously, the higher, 600 dpi, will actually take up more space in your hard drive, but still we want it as crisp as we can. Scaling, as you can see here, if you scale it, if you scan it small resolution and then scale it high, it will pixelate, as I showed you before. There's features, there's a scanning process, it talks about that, which we looked at when we actually scanned our images in. The resolution, the interpolation, the bit depth, the image transfer. So it talks about the workings of the scanner, and Twain is a language that most scanners use. And we looked at different formats, TIFF, PNG, CMYK, etc. So we need to look at those. RGB is for anything that's displayed on the screen, while if we are printing, which we are planning to do, is based on CMYK. So we're capturing images, that's what we did in our practical assignment. And now we're going to be looking at different aspects of things that you need to look at or remember. So I'm just moving out of here. We're going to go back to the program. Now go to here to 1 week 4. And what I've done is I've actually uploaded a lot of documents. There is a video here that talks about a few things, but a lot of documents based on what these questions are. So you might need to go through some of these. So the first question, what are the printing processes available to print scanned images, and what electronic media is available? So if we go to this one that says printing process, you'll start to see some of the information here. So the different processes are letterpress, flexography, graph, engraving, screen printing, lithography. So you could talk about a few of those. What are some of the characteristics of images that are relevant to scanning, and what are the requirements for scanning? Well, you probably would find that back in that document in our textbook. Talking about resolution, question 3, again in that textbook, those pages. What are some of the characteristics of an Align original? If we go to line scan in here, it talks a little bit about how the scanner works in lines. But if you recall, we also talked about and scanned a line diagram. The other ones, just to go through them, digital imaging process also goes through different ideas of line, what you need to think about, how the image gets changed through the pixels. So you might find that this is also quite useful to you. And the last one we didn't look at yet, was digital imaging. And it talks about what you need to think about, objectives of the tutorial, terms, CMYK, what does that mean, bitmap, and some terms here. So you might find some information between all of these about how to actually answer these questions. Question 5 is list the essential hardware and software required, needed to scan images. Question 6, list some of the occupational health and safety concerns associated with using a scanner and a computer for a long period of time. Remember to talk about noise, ergonomics, etc. Question 7, What software are you using to scan, and what controls exist within the software for line scanning? Again, have a look at the copier, go to the scan part, and discuss what aspects are there. Now, obviously, this is a Ricoh copier, so it's obviously using its own Ricoh scanning software. Question 8. What specific software requirements are there in order to process and output an image? Well, we use Photoshop, so you might want to look at the specific requirements for us to use Photoshop. And question 9. What manuals, safety documentation, and other documentation can you use to assist you with scanning? Where is the documentation stored? Well, most of that would be actually stored these days. A lot of them are now stored online. So we can go and look at the help manuals for the different machines. And so you'll need to just check this photocopier. It's a multifunction device. Which one is it? I can't recall at the moment. So grab one of those, and then it's got the manuals here, which will show you how to operate it, etc. Have a go at that, guys.